with the whispers of truth, to live a conscious life, to live a conscious life on the growing edge.
Good morning, good morning. It is Sunday, June the 28th, here at the Growing Edge. I am Allie Benjamin, and welcome to our Growing Edge Sunday sessions. We meet here every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Mountain time. To all of our friends up there in Utah, hello. We're here broadcasting live from Big Bear Lake, California, and it is so good to be here today on this beautiful Sunday morning. Welcome. This is your weekly spiritual tune in and tune up. And I jumped on a couple minutes early. Hi, Ben, to give everyone a minute to jump on and connect. So every Sunday we join together with our virtual tribe that is growing every week and has been. We've been doing this now since November of last year. And so every Sunday we come on to share some spiritual principles and practices that will hopefully impact you, that you can put into practice in your everyday life so that you can have a more meaningful, rich, and spiritual life, a deeper connection with the divine, with the universe, with oneness. So welcome, good morning, hello Michael. See people jumping on. Please go ahead and let us know where you are. Michael and I are here in Big Bear, California, and I've been quarantining for 4 months now, here at home, and it's a beautiful place to be. So how about you? Where are you? Where are you watching from? Where are you joining us from? We'd love to know who you are and where you are. And as I share today, my final talk in this series on a mindful life, I would love to hear your thoughts. I don't want this to be a one-sided conversation. I'd love this to be an interactive. And what you have to say, what you're feeling is so important. And what you have to say might just be the very thing that could bring someone some sense of awakening, or some sense of caring, or you may have something to say that is what someone needs to hear to help them along their path wherever they are. So please don't hesitate to join in the conversation, and welcome. So here we are with my final talk in this series on our Growing Edge LifeSunday sessions, and it is mindful compassion. All month long I've been studying this book, which is Standing at the Edge, Finding Freedom Where Fear and Courage Meet, by Roshi Joan Halifax, an awesome Buddhist teacher and Zen priest. And today she is sharing with you, through me, some wisdom about mindful compassion. So when we're at the edge and in danger of falling over the precipice into suffering, compassion is a powerful key for keeping our feet firmly planted on the earth and our hearts wide open. And I know that you are somebody that is wanting to keep your heart wide open, because we know that this world right now is in absolute need of hearts wide open, compassion, empathy, caring, kindness. And if you're joining us today here, then I know you are a vehicle, are a way that the universe brings compassion and love and caring and kindness into expression in your world, in your life, in your family. And so today, what I have to share will help you to live a more wholehearted life, a more compassionate experience with everyone and everything around you. Compassion, as Joan Halifax shares, is defined as feeling genuine concern about the suffering of another, and desiring to improve that one's welfare. Compassion also helps us meet our own suffering and that of others with an appropriate response. So how do we react or respond appropriately when someone's suffering? And we can look around, whether it's in our own family or here on Facebook or in our workplace. We are confronted with people that are suffering. We turn on the news and there it is. We may be suffering ourselves. We may be experiencing a whole plethora of thoughts and emotions and feelings around what's going on in the world. So compassion isn't just something that we extend to others or that we activate for others. It's compassion for ourselves too. So everything that I share today, and as I talk about extending compassion to others, also spin it around and think about how you might be doing this. You might be able to do this for yourself as well. In this book, Joan Halifax shares the 6 paramitas or perfections of Buddhism. These are compassionate qualities that we can cultivate so that when we are experiencing compassion, when we're experiencing suffering or struggle, we can then lean on these to help us stand strong, stand wholehearted, and experience a greater sense of connection with the other. The word paramita can be translated as perfection or crossing over to the other side, to the other shore, meaning the shore that is free of suffering. So the path to enlightenment or self-realization can be enhanced by practicing these perfections. So this leads to a realization or an actualization of our own innate spiritual nature. And as we give our attention to these, we have a deepening experience. We have a greater sense of our oneness, the interrelatedness and connectivity of life, and we are more able to respond to life's needs, to respond to the suffering of others when we practice in this way. Each perfection is an expression of our boundless hearts and a special kind of medicine that cures afflictions of all kinds. Isn't that beautiful? That each of these perfections are an expression of our boundless hearts. Just feel that now as I say it. Your boundless heart. We live so much up in our head, but when we have a simple direction to focus on our heart, our boundless heart, can you feel that expansion? Thinking is kind of narrow and restricted, while dropping down into the heart is an expansive feeling. And so each perfection is an expression of our boundless heart and a special kind of medicine that cures afflictions of every kind. So here we go. Each, in a sense, is a facet of compassion. So think of compassion as a beautiful jewel. And this jewel exists within you. And all of these perfections, and there's 6 of them, is a facet of that amazing, beautiful, God-given, universe-given jewel that exists at the very core of our being, our spiritual identity. So the perfection of generosity, the paramita of generosity, is giving compassionate support, protection, teachings, and attention to those who need it. So as we practice the perfection of generosity, we see that we can give generously. We can give care and support and protect and give our teachings and our attention to those who need it. So you might be really aware this week as you move through your life, who is crossing my path? Who is in need? Who can I show up for in a generous way and give myself, my teachings, my wisdom, my care, my protection, my support, And when you have the intention, when you set the intention that I am going to be available, to be generous, to give of myself, you are more aware of what might need your attention. And it may not be people necessarily. It could be a plant like this one. I've been giving this loving plant attention for many years now, and it seems to be responding quite beautifully. So how can you be generous? How can you give and pay attention to everyone and everything that crosses your path? The second perfection is virtue, or living in the vow. And that means something to Buddhists. And I encourage you to research a little bit about that. But because we only have a small amount of time here together, the perfection of virtue today in my teaching is directing principled compassion towards all beings, even those who harm others. When compassion is absent, then suffering ensues. So the perfection of virtue is being able to stand for what we believe as value, our principles, our values. And we stand in those values for everyone and everything in every way we experience life. So we don't discriminate. We don't stand in our value of loving kindness, or our value of compassion, or our value of wholeheartedness, or whatever your value, my value may be for myself, my life, what's most important to me. I have the willingness to extend that out to everyone, even those that I don't agree with, even those that may be in direct opposition to my values. I am standing in my vow and standing in my principles and extending that out to others, so that I listen, I pay attention, that I have compassion for those, because everybody is doing the very best they can. And so as I practice this standing in my virtue and extending that out to others, then I expand. I imagine that lotus of compassion, that beautiful blossom that grows out of the mud and expresses its beauty, knowing that all of the suffering, all of the turmoil that our life may be, can still produce something so pure and beautiful as compassion and love. And so we practice generosity, we practice virtue, and then the third one is patience. Revolutionary patience with others as well as ourselves. Patience means being fully in the present moment and letting go of aggression we might experience when we realize we cannot control outcomes. We have patience in the face of things not going the way we want them to. We have patience with people not behaving the way our ego thinks they need to behave. We have patience when things aren't moving at a speed we would like. And we practice patience by being fully present in the moment with whatever is happening, knowing that the only thing we can control is the way we show up in the world. And that is truly practicing the perfection, or the paramita of patience. And then the next one is the perfection of wholeheartedness. Being open, being available, caring, kind, determined to be the presence of loving kindness in all situations. I think of the practice of strong back, soft front, meaning strength in knowing who we are as spiritual beings, and softness in keeping our heart open and available, compassionate, caring, and kind, but not crossing our own boundaries, standing in our power, standing in our strength, standing for what we know to be true, and all the while remaining completely open and available to what's happening, wholehearted living, being vulnerable, being in our integrity, speaking up when something needs to be said, and knowing that our intention behind that honesty, behind that giving voice to our boundaries and what we stand for, is the way that we show up in the most authentic and wholehearted way. The next one is the perfection of concentration or attentiveness, which along with patience is a way to prevent us escaping from the moment. We stay concentrated in this moment. We stay patient with what's happening. We stay aware of what's in our field, what's shown up in our life, and we give that all of our attention, all of our love in that moment as we concentrate and stay aware of each and every moment. Now moment, only moment. And then the last perfection is that of wisdom. It's about directly experiencing the nature of reality. This is another reason why concentration is so important. Wisdom is not accessible if we're not totally open, non-biased, and attentive. What is wisdom? It's discernment and compassion, being at peace with what is, experiencing things just the way they are in the field of oneness. We show up knowing that all is well, even in the chaos. We don't label things as wrong or broken. We just see things from a perspective of knowing that in this field of oneness, that everything is expressing and that we are a centered, loving, patient, kind, generous, wholehearted being, loving, kind, without labeling, without putting our critique on what's happening. Just being at peace with it doesn't mean we necessarily agree with it, but we're at peace with what's occurring. Why is this important? Because we are always contributing to the field. We're always bringing energy to whatever is occurring. And if we have the energy or the mindset that there's something wrong or there's a problem or we don't like what's occurring, then we're actually contributing to that energy and we're expanding to it. So this place of the perfection of wisdom is that we have the discernment to know that we show up as a neutral ground. We show up as an open heart. So I'd like to take us into a meditation. So if you will, this is a meditation for these perfections, an activation for us to experience compassion more fully as a way of being. Closing the outer eyes and breathing, and I'm going to say some statements, and I want you to say them too, either out loud or in your mind, and really feel them. May I be generous. May I be generous. May I cultivate integrity and respect. May I cultivate integrity and respect. May I be patient. May I be patient. May I see clearly the suffering of others. May I see clearly the suffering of others. May I be energetic, steadfast, and wholehearted. May I be energetic, steadfast, and wholehearted. May I cultivate a calm and inclusive mind and heart. May I cultivate a calm and inclusive mind and heart, so I can compassionately serve all beings. So I can compassionately serve all beings. May I deepen wisdom. May I deepen wisdom and impart the benefit of any insights, and impart the benefits of any insights I may have to others. And so, as we sit with these beautiful statements to enhance and deepen and actualize these 6 perfections, let's deepen more fully right now, feeling fully supported in this moment, relaxed, open, available, caring, kind, willing, in this moment. present and available to an awakening, a deepening of consciousness as we enter into a field of caring. Caring is, I see you, I hear you, you matter to me. And extend this out to everyone and everything in your world. I see you, I hear you, you matter to me. Activating compassion here. Empathy. I feel you. What you feel matters to me. And extend this out to all living beings. Gentleness. I send waves of loving kindness from my heart to yours. I hold you gently in my loving heart. Gentleness. Acceptance. You are a unique and divine being, doing the very best that you can. I accept you as you are. You are a gift in my life. You are a gift to the world. I bow deeply to you. And extend this loving acceptance out in all directions to all sentient beings. You are a unique and divine being, doing the very best that you can. I accept you as you are. You are a gift in my life. You are a gift to the world, and I bow deeply to you. Let's do a deep bow. Just bend over and deeply bow and feel that deep reverence and respect, and send it out to all beings, from the smallest of creatures to the largest mountain, to the sun, to the cosmos, to the grain of sand, to the people, to the emails coming into your email box, sending out a deep bow, a deep recognition, a deep honoring of all life. And so I speak a blessing on all beings, that all beings experience a deepening into compassion, a deep sense of caring for one another, a deep sense of loving kindness, of wonder, of empathy and gentleness for all beings. And as we simply stand in our strength today, knowing that we are supported completely by the universe, that everything that is needed, required, necessary for our best life, for our thriving, for our health and well-being is available. We live in an abundant universe. We live in pure potentiality and possibility. So let us open up to that now and receive it. Say yes to all that is ours to receive. All the support, all the kindness, all the love, all the abundance, all the prosperity, all the health, all the creativity. It's all ours. We simply release anything that's blocking its flow in and through us. We release fear and doubt and confusion and pain and struggle. We release all of that. We release any resistance to our good. And we say, yes, thank you, Spirit of Life. Thank you for the generosity of life. And we simply allow that flow to come in, that flow of good to come in, and we extend the flow back out with our generosity. So we give and receive, and we participate in the abundant flow of life. And for this we are blessed, and all are blessed. All are uplifted by our prayer. My prayer is your prayer. Your prayer is my prayer. And as we simply want what is best for all beings, we simply allow it. So I release this prayer, this blessing, this meditation, this activation into the universal law, knowing with great confidence, with absolute knowing, faith, that it is done, it is so. And together we say, and so it is. So thank you so much for joining us today. Michael and I, he's out there, my tech support, and thank you for being the presence of love on this planet. If you've enjoyed this message and you would like to support us in continuing the expansion of consciousness and loving kindness on this planet through our Satya Growing Edge Live message, you can Venmo Satya Center, SatyaCenter, or you can go to our website, growingedgelive.com, and make a donation. That's how we thrive, is through your generous support. So thank you again, and peace and blessings. Lots of love to you. Send us your prayer requests. We've got a team of conscious living practitioners that are ready to support you in your life, in your healing journey, in the realization of your dreams and your purpose. So send us a request, instant message us, and know that we're here for you always and in all ways.
Free my mind, open my heart with the whispers of truth, to live a conscious life, to live a conscious life on the growing edge, on the growing edge.
Thank you, Leslie Monroe, for our beautiful music. Bye, everyone. See you next Sunday.